Mr. Alcoffer. Mr. Alcoffer is present. Ms. Barnhart. Ms. Barnhart is present. Mr. Baines. Mr. Baines is present. Mr. Blankley. Mr. Blankley is present. Mr. Brew. Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Burgess. Mr. Burgess is present. Mr. Colby. Mr. Colby is present. Mr. Delahanty. Mr. Delahanty is present. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman. Delvecchio Hoffman is present. Mrs. DeFlorio is excused. Mr. Dondorfer. Mr. Dondorfer is here. Mr. Frazier. Mr. Frazier is here. Ms. Hasman. Ms. Hasman is here. Mr. Hebert. Mr. Hebert is here. Ms. Hughes Smith. Ms. Hughes Smith is here. Mr. Johns. Mr. Johns is here. Mr. Keller. Mr. Keller is here. President Lamar.
Here.
President Lamar is here. Mr. Long. Mr. Long is here. Mr. Mafucci. Mr. Mafucci is here. Mr. Marinetti. Mr. Marinetti is here. Mr. McCabe. Mr. McCabe is here. Mr. Milne. Mr. Milne is here. Ms. Roman. Ms. Roman is here. Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith is here. Ms. Taylor. Ms. Taylor is here. Ms. Vasquez Simmons. Ms. Vasquez Simmons is here. Ms. Vecchio. Ms. Vecchio is here. And Mr. Udelson. Mr. Udelson is here.
I would like to take a moment to recognize former legislators Echo and Zell, who are in attendance today. Now, please join me in a moment of silent prayer. Please stand as Legislator Hugh Smith will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is the approval of journal. Your copies of the journal of day 7 of 2022, May 10th, 2022, are available through Novus Agenda. Without exception, the journal will stand approved as submitted. Legislators, the referrals submitted to the legislature for the next committee cycle are available on Novus Agenda as well as online. There are several proclamations scheduled this evening. Mr. Clerk.
Would members from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Town of Ogden Police Department, Spencerport Fire District, and Brockport Fire District please come forward? Also, Legislator Paul Dondorfer, Legislator Robert Colby, and President Sabrina Lamar.
Between you three. Whereas each and every day, first responders protect and serve our citizens throughout Monroe County. These exemplary individuals are the heart of our law, fire, and EMS departments. Our local first responders continuously demonstrate their fearlessness, selflessness, and incomparable skills. And whereas on June 1st, these qualities were on full display when they responded to a violent vehicle crash on Salmon Creek Road. The response generated an immediate collaborative effort that saved the life of the victim. And whereas when police arrived on the scene, they found an individual trapped in a burning vehicle. Doors were bent shut, preventing any movement, hindering immediate attempts to remove the victim. When backup arrived, they deployed 9 fire extinguishers to combat the fire while awaiting emergency fire response. Through a collaborative effort, first responders were able to remove the victim from the back seat of the car before it became completely engulfed in flames. And whereas the heroic efforts of the first responders on June 1st on Salmon Creek Road displayed the very best of our heroes, including members of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Town of Ogden Police Department, Spencerport Fire District, and Brockport Fire District. While not limited to the following, first responders played an integral role in the heroic efforts of June 1st, 2022. Town of Ogden Police Officer Dent, Sergeant Marcucci, Investigator Tiger, and Town of Ogden Police Chief Mears. Monroe County Sheriff Deputies James Shaw, Deputy Daniel Salura, and Deputy Brian McCoy. Brockport Fire District Deputy Chief Jose Medina. Now, therefore, we, Sabrina Lamar, President, Paul Dondorfer, Public Safety Chair, and Robert Colby, Legislator District 20, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby recognize the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Town of Ogden Police Department, Spencerport Fire District, Brockport Fire District for the heroic actions on Salmon Creek Road on June 1st, 2022.
I'd like to thank everyone for being recognized for this. I know I speak for the other first responders who couldn't be here tonight and saying thank you. If there would have been one less fire extinguisher and one less person there that day, we would have had a different outcome. Everybody pitched in. All of us work for different agencies. We have different procedures that we go with, but we knew it had to get done at that time. We were able to get the victim out. We spoke with his family the other day, and it looks like he's going to make a full recovery. So we're very happy about that. So thank you very much.
Would Viola Curry please come forward? Also, Legislator Carolyn Del Vecchio Hoffman and President Sabrina Lamar.
Point of order, all of our honors are not here yet. Do you think we can wait a certain time after the public forum to honor them?
That's fine.
Thank you so much.
Go see if she's here.
Is Julie Wallace in attendance?
There are no formal committee reports scheduled for this evening. We will now hold the public forum. We have several people registered to address the legislature. Mr. Clerk?
If you require assistance, a deputy is available to assist you in approaching the lectern, and I will call 3 people forward at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes in which to address the legislature, and kindly conclude your remarks when the timer sounds and exit through the back of the chambers right over here to my right. Thank you for your cooperation. Our first 3 speakers will be Stephen Jackson, Candy Tabor, and Tony Hardy.
Hi, my name is Stephen Jackson. I'm the Vice Chairman of Monroe County Scope. I'm going to read from Deuteronomy 23, verses 21 through 23. If you make a vow to the Lord your God, do not be slow to keep it, because he will require it of you. Be careful to do whatever comes from your lips, because you have freely promised it. As part of the oath of office, you place your hand on the Bible, swearing to the Lord that you will fulfill your duties of your office and protect the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of New York State. You took an oath to fulfill your duties as our representatives, to abide by the contract we the people set forth in the Constitution. Are you willing to break that contract that you took with the American people of Monroe County? Are you willing to break that contract you made with God? Are you willing to deal with the consequences of your actions? Please amend Monroe County Code 328-23 to allow law-abiding citizens to carry their licensed firearms in the parks. Thank you.
Good evening. You've seen us before. We're going to keep coming back. My name is Candy Tabor. I'm Secretary for Monroe County Scope. On May 25th, a lone woman, a conscientious U.S. citizen, single-handedly stopped a shooting spree. She defended herself and several others at a birthday party by a park. There were no other injuries reported other than the perpetrator. An FBI analysis of active shootings indicates that 4 incidents have been ended by random citizen intervention. I am so grateful that this woman's county legislature did not take away her right to protect herself or her family. Allow us our constitutional right to protect ourselves, our families, and each other. Amend County Code 32328. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Toni McKechnie Hardy. I grew up in Hilton, where I also raised my son, Sean. Sean passed away alone at age 48 on March 29th in Brockport. I'm here this evening to address the delay in autopsy and toxicology reports in Monroe County. When found, the medical examiner presumed, due to the presence of several substances, that Sean had passed from alcohol and/or drugs. The police and funeral home said cause of death could take up to 6 months. The ME's office said the reports could actually take up to a year because they also handle investigations for surrounding counties. And many Monroe County investigations are outsourced to other counties as well. I emailed the ME and copied in numerous county, Sweden, and Brockport officials. I included a Democrat and Chronicle article from 2018 indicating an improvement in Monroe County policies. I have the article over on the table here. Gratefully, I did hear back from the supervisor and the Monroe County legislator for Sweden, and I thank you. After I sent the email, I received the reports in 4 days. My question to you, the governing body of Monroe County, is without my emails, would the reports have actually taken 6 months or a year? And if indeed the medical examiner policy of handling autopsies and toxicology reports had been improved in 2018, why was I told just this past April that investigations were still being outsourced and others backlogged due to reports processed for other counties? For families of a loved one who passed from substance abuse, there is never real closure to their loss and grief. But I ask you to consider concerns that I have outlined and investigate any missteps in the procedures involved and resolve to find ways to expedite the devastating but necessary reports to grieving loved ones. Again, thank you for your attention to this important issue.
Our next 3 speakers are Eugene Nolan, Bob Ahn, and Julie Donahue. First one.
Good evening. My name is Gene Nolan. I'm the Monroe County Chairman of SCOPE. Madam Chairman and all in attendance, good evening. Once again, I am here requesting your support to amend County Law 323-28, which would allow New York State pistol permit holders to conceal carry their weapons in all our parks. Now, this is our 7th month we've been back here before you. We've given you a load of information and facts, maybe a little emotion too, but they're all available for you. In these 7 months that we've been appealing to you, we've had 2 murders in our parks. Not homicides, they're murders. Could they have been prevented? We've talked about this before. Yeah, maybe. But if you're going to gamble with the good citizens of Monroe County's lives, at least give them the advantage and give them back the constitutional right they deserve to carry these weapons and protect themselves. So 323-28, please amend. So these people can carry their weapons in the park for self-protection. But do the right thing. Don't do it as a Republican. Don't do it as a Democrat. Don't do it as a conservative. But do it as our leaders. Thank you. And God bless our Constitution, which is our foundation.
The New York Citizens Audit found 12 concerning facts for Monroe County, which is included in the petition all of you received today. I will present 5 of those facts. 1, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that a 2,084 voter discrepancy exists between the Monroe County precinct vote tabulation count and the New York State Board of Elections. And a 2,510 voter discrepancy exists between the Monroe County precinct vote tabulation count and the New York Secretary of State certified results. Additionally, a 426 vote discrepancy exists between the New York State Board of Elections and the Secretary of State regarding Monroe County. 2, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that there are at least 7,225 duplicate SBOEID numbers assigned, 233 of which voted. 3, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that there are 39 registered voters purged with no purge date. 4, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that 88% of the voting age population of Monroe County is registered to vote. The following age groups from 18 to 100 have an excess of 95% registration: 63, 68, 69, and 73. The following age groups from 18 to 100 have an excess of 100% registration: 74, 110%, 86, 103%, 87, 102%, 97, 105%, 98, 104%, 99, 103%, and 100, 117%. 5, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that 98 people voted without a residence address in their voter roll. Petitioners claim these findings deprive petitioners of equal protections under the law and proves beyond a reasonable doubt that the 2020 general election was defective and must be decertified. Thank you.
Our next 3 speakers are Jane Maggio, Bruce Sprague, and Larry DeMeo.
Good evening. The New York Citizens Audit found 12 concerning facts for Monroe County, which is included in the petition all we received today. I will present 7 of those facts. Number 1, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that 790 people registered after the cutoff date and voted on election day. Number 2, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrated at least 2 people voted who were deceased. Number 3, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that at least 308 people voted who were older than the oldest living resident in the United States. Number 4, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that 7 people voted without a county address. Number 5, Monroe County voter rolls maintained by the New York State Board of Elections demonstrate that at least 26 people voted who were purged before November 3rd, 2020. Number 6, the total number of irregular votes in Monroe County, as detailed above, is 4,013 votes. Number 7, analysis of the voter turnout in Monroe County using the Dr. Frank age turnout method reveals a 6-factor polynomial constant can predict the voter turnout by age with a 99.9 degree of accuracy. This demonstrates that the turnout records are not organic. I assert these facts alone and/or in combination with any of the other facts presented herein proves beyond a reasonable doubt that the 2020 general election was defective and must be decertified in Monroe County. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. The New York Citizens Audit is a volunteer organization exploring New York voter rolls in the 2020 elections using official and publicly available materials. I'm here to help disseminate their findings. On May 9th, a petition for redress of grievances was presented to the New York State Attorney General, the New York State Secretary of State, and the New York State Board of Elections. The New York Citizen Audit have uncovered and compiled evidence of violations of 11 provisions of New York State election law and 12 specific findings relative to Monroe County. These findings are detailed in the New York Citizen Audit petition for redress of grievances, a copy of which was emailed today to the official email address of each member of the Monroe County Legislature, the clerk of the legislature, the Republican majority leader, and the Democrat minority leader. One bound copy, which I have right here, I'm hoping to leave with you tonight. For more information beyond that, what is presented, please visit auditny.com. These findings have uncovered irregular registration and irregular ballots in excess of the margins of victory for at least 8 down ballots in the races within Monroe County. As more irregularities are discovered, it is likely that the number of races with smaller margins of victory that are less than the number of the irregular ballots will also be affected. I would like to point the legislatures to the Monroe County facts section of the petition for redress of grievances emailed earlier today. This report contains a summary of registration and election irregularities along with the New York State statutes violated and exhibits A through P, which provide additional information and samples of data collected statewide. What the New York Citizens Audit would like from the Monroe County Legislature today is to investigate these election integrity issues and to contact the Monroe County Sheriff and District Attorney to encourage them to open investigations into these potentially criminal matters. Thank you.
Good evening. On the 3rd of this month, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency of the United States Department of Homeland Security released a report entitled Vulnerabilities Affecting Dominion Voting Systems ImageCast X. This report concluded that these vulnerabilities present risks that should be mitigated as soon as possible. In other words, these Dominion voting machines have been vulnerable to cyber hacking attacks in the past. In case you're not aware of it, these same Dominion voting machines are used in 52 of New York State's 62 counties, including Monroe County. Thus, we know that the voting machines now used in Monroe County have been vulnerable to cyber hacking attacks. Timestamped terabytes of cyber data collected by cybersecurity experts in real time in 2,995 counties in the United States before, during, and after the November 3rd, 2020 election indicate that in Monroe County, New York, 31,242 votes were flipped from the Republican presidential candidate to the Democrat presidential candidate. In New York State, 714,594 votes were flipped from the Republican presidential candidate to the Democrat presidential candidate. And nationally, 13,056,578 votes were flipped from the Republican presidential candidate to the Democrat presidential candidate. Upon examination of all the cyber data collected in each of the 2,995 counties before, during, and after the November 3rd, 2020 election, there wasn't a single county where the final vote count was flipped from the Democrat presidential candidate to the Republican presidential candidate. It was always the other way around. These three pieces of evidence alone call into question the validity of the November 3rd, 2020 election results in Monroe County, New York, in New York State, and in the United States. Therefore, I ask this legislative body to investigate this information pertaining to the November 3rd, 2020 election in Monroe County. Thank you for considering my request, and may you respond to it to the glory of God. God's word says, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
Our last two speakers are Samaya Wood and Bob On.
In December 2019, Senators Warren, Klobuchar, and Wyden sent letters to the private equity firms with controlling stakes in the 3 election technology vendors responsible for the vast majority of voting machines and software in the U.S., including Dominion, whose machines are used throughout Monroe County. In those letters, they wrote, quote, "We are particularly concerned that secretive and trouble-plagued companies owned by private equity firms and responsible for manufacturing, maintaining voting machines and other election administration equipment have long skimped on security in favor of convenience, leaving voting systems across the country prone to security problems." They went on to note multiple issues across several states, ranging from switched votes to undercounted votes to discovery of previously undisclosed vulnerabilities. Fast forward to Georgia's primary elections last month. Georgia uses Dominion voting machines statewide. A hand recount for a local commissioner's race uncovered over 3,200 additional votes that were inexplicably not counted in the machine tally. The adjusted vote tally confirmed by the hand recount switched the result of that race. A similar issue with Monroe County's Dominion voting machines could easily flip multiple races, and voters would never know unless a hand recount was completed. Multiple researchers and recently the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency have identified serious vulnerabilities with Dominion voting machines. As a result, the security and accuracy of our voting machines cannot be taken for granted. As our local legislative body, I'm asking that you follow up with the county and state boards of elections to ensure these vulnerabilities are fully remediated. Better yet, banning electronic voting machines and moving to hand counts, as is done in France, will ensure that this issue cannot happen in Monroe County. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. It's about ensuring the foundation of our constitutional republic remains solid. It's imperative that citizens of this county have confidence that our election systems and processes reflect the true will of the people. Your attention to addressing and resolving these issues will help ensure that confidence is merited. Failure to act will, rightly or wrongly, leave voters with the impression that winning at all costs is more important to you than the sanctity of our votes. I encourage you to act wisely. Thank you for your time. Oh, and you have copies of the letters and some additional information that you'll be getting.
This concludes the public forum.
We will now proceed
Point of order, the proclamation that we used earlier, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
We will now proceed with the proclamation scheduled for this evening.
Thank you.
Would Viola Curry please come forward? Also President Sabrina Lamar and Legislator Carolyn Delvecchio Hoffman.
You want me to read all three of them, please?
Would Don Simpkin also please come forward? And Tiffany Owens as well. And Legislator Albert Blankley. Would you like to come up?
The Monroe County Legislature recognizes Viola Curry. It is the sense of this legislature to honor and celebrate the people and organizations that make Monroe County a better place to live. And whereas attendant to such concern, we are justly proud to honor Viola Curry, who serves Monroe County and the greater Rochester community. And whereas Viola has served as the Senior Nutrition Program Coordinator at the Montgomery Center at Swan for over 45 years, dedicating much of her time to the improvement of treatment of seniors and continues to do so at 85 years old. And whereas Viola started as a program coordinator, what I was given, I'm sorry, I did not write it. Whereas Viola started as a program coordinator for the Montgomery Senior Citizen Program after being a volunteer for 1 year, and whereas under Viola's supervision and senior citizen group, became a member of the New York State Office for the Aging. And whereas she has held a multitude of events for local seniors in the community to promote socialization and staying healthy. And whereas Monroe County Office of the Aging Citizen Advisory Committee, the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club, and Greater Rochester Metro Chamber of Commerce have all recognized her dedicated social service to the community. And now, therefore, let it be known that we, Adam Bello County Executive, Sabrina Lamar, Legislature President, and Carolyn Delvecchio Hoffman, Legislator District 25, do hereby honor Viola Curry for her commitment to serving Rochester and Monroe County on this 14th day of June, 2022.
Thanks very much. I don't know who wrote this. My age is actually right, yeah, and that's very, very good. I enjoy doing what I do. I just don't get up and go to work. I get up and I go to have fun. And when I say I get up to go to have fun, I'm very blessed that I can work with seniors. I can make them happy. A lot of times when things are going really, really bad, like today, I'm a little late because a young lady called me, not that kind of young, and she said that her mother had to go to the nursing home, and she wanted me to do something because they were having problems. And I says, okay. So the only thing I could possibly do was get on the telephone. And I said, no, this is Viola. And she says, from Montgomery Center? And I said, yes. She has dementia, okay, from Montgomery Center. She says, well, am I supposed to be there calling bingo? And I says, well, tomorrow we're going to do bingo. Now I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying. But it all boiled down to this. When she heard Viola and Montgomery Center, she took her medicine, okay, because she wasn't going to take it. And I said to them, at the Monroe County Hospital, remember, always tell her that she is at Montgomery Center. That's what I go to work for, and that's what happens, and I'm excited to get this, and I thank you all very, very much. Good night.
The Monroe County Legislature recognizes Don Simpkin. whereas it is the sense of this legislature to honor and celebrate the people and organizations that make Monroe County a better place to live, and whereas attendant to such concern, we are justly proud to honor Don Simpkin for his endless contributions through St. Martin Boxing. And whereas Don Simpkin started St. Martin Boxing in 1969, named in honor of St. Martin de Porres, who was canonized as the first Black saint of the Americas. And whereas Don started working as Monroe County Probation/Protection Officer in 1966 and retired in 2010. And whereas Don also started a local affiliation with National Silver Gloves Association in 1982, celebrating 40 years in 2022. He is currently a state and regional leader and a member of the National Silver Gloves Board of Directors. And whereas Don goes above and beyond with the youth, providing rides to children with transportation constraints and helping to instill the value of discipline and determination, and oftentimes a chance at rehabilitation. He has used boxing as a vehicle to promote good citizenship, work ethic, and the proper direction in life. And now, therefore, let it be known that we, Adam Bello, County Executive, Sabrina Lamar, Legislature President, Albert Blankley, Legislator, District 24, and Carolyn Delvecchio Hoffman, Legislator, District 25, do hereby honor Don Simpkin for his commitment to serving Rochester and Monroe County on this 14th day of June, 2022.
I'm not going to say much, I guess, but we got a boxing match Saturday on the 18th. But, you know, the old saying is takes a whole neighborhood to raise a child, and we just try to do our part.
Thank you.
The Monroe County Legislature recognizes Tiffany Owens. Step up. Whereas it is the sense of this legislature to honor and celebrate the people and organizations that make Monroe County a better place to live, and whereas attendant to such concern, we are justly proud to honor Tiffany Owens, who serves Monroe County and the greater Rochester community. And whereas Tiffany Owens serves as Executive Director of Southwest Area Neighborhood Association at Montgomery Center. And whereas Tiffany Owens was recruited as both an alumnus and for her expertise in finance, compliance, and real estate, two areas that needed immediate focus. And whereas Tiffany Owens was able to lead a successful fundraising campaign for Swan, and in turn was awarded the Rising Star Award by United Way. And whereas Tiffany Owens has brought 20 years of experience to Swan and is devoted to using this to benefit the greater Rochester area. And whereas Swan has been a crucial organization during the pandemic as need has increased, specifically in the area of housing and security. And now, therefore, let it be known that we, Adam Bello, County Executive, Sabrina Lamar, Legislature President, and Carolyn Delvecchio Hoffman, Legislator, District 25, do hereby honor Tiffany Owens for her commitment to serving Rochester and Monroe County on this 14th day of June, 2022.
Thank you so very much. This is quite the shock. Here I was trying to ensure my elders were honored, and I'm honored. So I really appreciate that. I'd like to share that as a person who definitely was able to win from attending programs at that community center. I cannot tell you how vital they are to our community and to our young people. So having an opportunity to return to a center that I attended as a child and revitalize it so other young people could benefit in the ways that I have has meant the world to me. And I have truly appreciated working with Viola and Don, two people that have been committed for decades. So thank you so very much, and I appreciate it. Please stop by and visit Swan. Thank you.
Is Tiffany Walters here? You can please come forward. Also, President Sabrina Lamar.
Whereas child care providers work tirelessly to ensure that children in our community receive adequate attention during their developmental years. Child Care Aware of America and other organizations nationwide are recognizing child care providers on this day. And whereas over half the children under the age of 6 nationwide are estimated to spend some time in a non-parental care arrangement on a weekly basis, which provides critical enrichment opportunities and nurtures development for children of all backgrounds. And whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has created extreme hardship for child care providers and the families who depend on them. Through their tremendous efforts, many providers remain open throughout the pandemic to continue to serve families in our community, despite risking their own health and financial stability. And in the years to come, it is vital that we improve quality and access to early childhood experiences and programs. Pledging to such efforts is a worthy commitment to our children's future. Now, therefore, we, Sabrina Lamar, President, and Tracy DeFlorio, Legislator District 3, on behalf of the entire Monroe County Legislature, do hereby declare June 14th Provider Appreciation Day in recognition of our dedicated child care providers.
On behalf of all of the providers in Monroe County, we thank you guys. We have worked hard. We're going to continue to work hard to provide the children of Monroe County with quality care. And I also want to say thank you to Viola and Tiffany, because I'm a direct product of the SWAN program in Montgomery Center. I grew up in the 19th Ward, and I have fond memories of going on skiing trips with the program and just doing summer camps. And so, you know, programs like this matter and providers matter. So thank you guys for acknowledging us.
We will now proceed with the consideration of motions, resolutions, and notices. Will the clerk read the next item on the agenda? Yes.
One, with the exception of the following referral numbers. Number 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 17, 18, 19, 22, 23, 35, 36, and 37.
I didn't hear it. Did someone move it?
Yes, that was moved by Legislator.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries.
We should be on item number 4. Referral 22-0162, amending 2022-2027 capital improvement program to add project entitled Monroe Community College Wolk Health Center and authorizing contract with Dormitory Authority for the State of New York.
Moved by Legislator McCabe, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 5, referral 22-0162.BR, resolution authorizing the issuance of $2,500,000 bonds of the County of Monroe, New York, to finance the cost of the Monroe Community College Wolk Health Care Center project in and for said county at an estimated maximum cost of $2,500,000.
Moved by Legislator McCabe, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
6. Item number 6, referral number 22-0163.BR, resolution authorizing the issuance of $16 million bonds of the County of Monroe, New York, to finance costs of the space utilization and renovation of City Place project in and for said county at an estimated maximum cost of $16,370,400.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 8, referral 22-0165, authorizing contract with Hunt Engineers, Architects, Land Surveyors, and Landscape Architect for professional services for Monroe Community College Expand Virtual Learning Center project.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 10, referral 22-0167, authorizing implementation of project labor agreement for specialized secure detention facility capital project.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Milne and Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 17, referral 22-0174, classification of action and determination of significance pursuant to State Environmental Quality Review Act for the acquisition, rehab, resale program funded through the Monroe County Home Investment Partnerships Program.
Moved by legislator McCabe, seconded by legislator Johns. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 18, referral 22-0175, approving 2022 annual action plan for housing and community development in suburban Monroe County and grant submission to U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Moved by legislator Brew, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator? Yeah. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Item.
Item number 19, referral 22-0176, amending Resolution 194 of 2021, authorizing a second amendment to Monroe County's 2021 Annual Action Plan for Home Investment Partnerships American Rescue Plan Program to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Moved by legislator Taylor, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Discussion. None, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 22, referral 22-0179, accepting funding from New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports and amending Resolution 517 of 2021 as amended by Resolution 122 of 2022, authorizing contracts for the provision of mental health, developmental disability, and alcoholism and substance abuse services in 2022 for Monroe County Office of Mental Health.
Moved by legislator Milne, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Hasman. Yeah. Legislator Blankley.
Legislator Long, I'd like to declare my interest also.
Is there any other discussion? None, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 23, referral 22-0180, amending Resolution 132 of 2021, amending and increase the contract with URMC Labs, a division of University of Rochester, for laboratory services at Monroe Community Hospital.
Moved by legislator Milne, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Asma. Long. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 35, referral number 22-0192, amending 2022 operating budget to add $1 admission for individuals receiving food assistance at Seneca Park Zoo.
Moved by legislator Alcoffer, seconded by legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Legislator Kobe.
Through you, Madam President. Do you have any, through you to the administration, how much is the zoo visitation? Is it ahead of schedule or normal projections from, for this year?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
For this year, up the first 6 months of this year, is the zoo attendance been up or down compared to last year and compared to budget?
It has been slightly down from last year, but so far on pace from the year prior to last year's.
Through you, Madam President, to the
I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry, through you, Madam President.
Through you, Madam President, to the administration. Could you have an idea, can you give me what the total dollar budget number is for admissions to the zoo on a yearly basis?
Yes, I have that. Through you, Madam President, 1.7 million.
Through you, Madam President, to the administration, do you feel this is going to affect the budget number up or down from visitations?
Through you, Madam President, this is actually, we believe it's going to be additional revenue generated on top. It's not going to impact the guests who are already coming to the zoo. So we believe it will actually have a impact on more guests coming.
Through you, Madam President, to the administration, I want to word this. What are the funds that are taken in for general mission signed to?
I'm sorry.
The funds that you gather for administration for entrance, what are those funds designated to be used for? Are they restricted in any way? Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, through you, Madam President, I'm Steve Lacey. I am the superintendent of Seneca Park Zoo.
You want me to rephrase my question?
Please.
To you, Madam President, what are the funds that we get for administration? What are they assigned to? What expenditures?
Madam President, admission fees collected at Seneca Park Zoo are credited back to our Department of Parks and the division specifically identified as Seneca Park Zoo.
Thank you, Madam President, to the administration. So those funds are restricted to be used in Seneca Park Zoo, but they come through the general funds back to, is that?
Madam President, it's really wrong phrase to say that they are restricted.
Okay.
In Monroe County's budget process, as the Parks Department builds its budget for the zoo, they are expected to offset a portion of their expenses through revenue generated at the zoo to minimize the net county tax impact. So the revenues are accounted for in that fashion.
Thank you, Madam President.
Legislator McCabe.
Madam President, can we get an update on the zoo operation budget? Can you send that to the legislators?
Where they are now.
I'm sorry, Madam President, we're not sure we understand the question.
The operating budget for the zoo, for the Seneca Park Zoo. Can the legislators get a copy of that operating budget for the zoo?
Madam President, yes, the operating budget as outlined by Monroe County Department of Parks is presented in Monroe County's annual operating budget for 2022 within the Department of Parks. No amendments to that budget has been made to my knowledge, Madam President.
Another question through you to the administration, Madam President. Can we get the projected revenue for the Seneca Park Zoo for the year?
Yes, Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 36, referral 22-0193, confirmation of appointments to the Monroe County Civil Service Commission.
Moved by Legislator John, seconded by Legislator McCabe. Is there any discussion? Well, I would like to explain my vote. And I just want to use a direct quote from the Raise Commission recommendations. It says, both the city and county operate separate civil service functions for the purpose of recruiting, hiring, and retaining their workforces. They must operate within the rules and procedures of the New York State civil service system. Yet, the way the system has functioned has had a disparate, inequitable, and exclusionary effect on BIPOC or people of color. Past efforts to reform this antiquated system have produced very modest reforms. In the current environment, when racial disparities and structurally racist practices are being exposed and rooted out, both governments must join forces to redesign their civil service functions to ensure equitable and obstructed access to qualified applicants, which will lead to a racially diverse workforce. They should identify other municipalities that are undergoing the same redesign and together petition state government to incorporate their redesign ideals into a more diverse, equitable, and accessible civil service system. The Monroe County Civil Service Commission must be diversified. We can no longer continue the same practices of appointing our friends and supporters to these boards and commissions simply for our comfort. If we are serious about diversity, equity, and inclusion, then it must be reflected on the Civil Service Commission. For that reason, I am voting no to this appointment. Is there any other discussion? Legislator Brew?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I'd like to explain my vote. I will be supporting it, but I will be supporting it with reservations. I do feel that the Civil Service Commission does need to function, and which would indicate that we need to provide this individual to sit on the board. However, this is not the first time that the question of has there been adequate search and identification of minority candidates to fill these various board positions. I'm not sure if this is 5 or 6, 7, 8, I don't know. But what I would like to occur is for the administration maybe to double down and dig a little bit deeper in trying to identify those qualified individuals to serve on these various boards and commissions, so that when these votes occur as they are tonight, we can be comfortable in knowing that that the administration has done due diligence to identify those individuals, and that we can all probably support that. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Do we need to go to a roll call vote? All in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Did someone say something?
You want me to do a roll call vote?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Brew? Yes. Mr. Brew votes yes. Ms. Roman? Yes. Ms. Roman votes yes. Mr. Alcoffer? Mr. Alcoffer votes yes. Ms. Barnhart? Ms. Barnhart votes yes. Mr. Baines? Mr. Baines votes yes. Mr. Blankley? Mr. Blankley votes yes. Mr. Burgess? Mr. Burgess votes yes. Mr. Colby?
Yes.
Mr. Colby votes yes. Mr. Delahaney? Mr. Delahaney votes yes. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman? Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman votes yes. Mrs. DeFlorio is excused. Mr. Dondorfer?
Yes.
Mr. Dondorfer votes yes. Mr. Frazier? Mr. Frazier votes yes. Ms. Hasman? Ms. Hasman votes yes. Mr. Hebert? Mr. Hebert votes yes. Ms. Hughes Smith? Ms. Hughes Smith votes yes. Mr. Johns? Mr. Johns votes yes. Mr. Keller? Mr. Keller votes yes. Mr. Long? Mr. Long votes yes. Mr. Mafucci? Mr. Mafucci votes yes. Mr. Marinetti? Mr. Marinetti votes yes. Mr. McCabe? Mr. McCabe votes no. Mr. Milne? Mr. Milne votes no. Ms. Smith? Ms. Smith votes yes. Ms. Taylor? Ms. Taylor votes yes. Ms. Vasquez Simmons? Ms. Vasquez Simmons votes yes. Ms. Vecchio? Ms. Vecchio votes yes. Mr. Udelson? Mr. Udelson votes yes. And President Lamar?
No.
President Lamar votes no. 25-3, resolution passes.
Next item.
Item number 37, referral number 22-0195, amending 2022 operating budget, appropriating fund balance for violence response initiatives of Monroe County Office of the Sheriff, and create 11 deputy sheriff road patrol positions.
Move it, Madam President.
Second.
Moved by legislator Dondorfer, seconded by legislator Delahanty and legislator Mafucci and legislator Baines. Is there any discussion? Legislator Vecchio. Is there any other discussion? Legislator Hasman.
Violence, in particular, youth violence, is a problem that can have lasting harmful effect on the victims and their families. Since the beginning of the pandemic, we have seen an increase across the country, and Monroe County has not been immune to this problem. I'd like to thank the administration and the county executive and my colleagues for their efforts to take steps to stem this tide. I'm especially appreciative of the efforts to include social workers and the clergy to work with families affected by violence and investments in jail-based deterrent initiatives. I do plan to vote yes tonight because doing nothing is simply not an option. But we also know that avoiding violence, first and foremost, should be our highest priority. However, prevention cannot be accomplished by one sector alone. We need initiatives that include public health, education, healthcare, mental health, and behavioral, government, social services, business, and organizations that can get the sector. We must address things like health disparities, housing insecurity, conflict resolution, and poverty. We must conduct research on the factors that put people at risk for violence and protect them from violence in the future, and prevent them from acting out on violent impulses. The voices of our children, youth, and families who are most affected by this violence must be front and center. And I believe that with efforts put in a collaborative manner such as this, we can collectively work to prevent violence and eliminate it.
Thank you. I really struggled with this, and ultimately, I do not believe that this is a plan. But I am voting for this because I believe the case was made to at least add some staff to the sheriff's department. But I have to tell you, I'm very skeptical that adding 11 sheriff's deputies will impact our problem with violence. Make no mistake, I do believe law enforcement. The blocks surrounding where I live, just a few blocks away, we've had carjackings, we've had homicides, we've had shootings. I have been personally impacted by violence, so have my neighbors. Police respond to these incidents. They quickly make arrests, and I'm grateful for that. But when police get involved, it's too late. Our community has experienced tremendous loss, and we have to focus more on prevention. Less than half of this referral, in my opinion, is focused on prevention. When I asked how the jail at the Ways and Means Committee, when I asked how the jail arrived at $275,000 for reentry services, I was told that's an estimate. I urge Sheriff Baxter to let us know exactly what is needed, and I bet it's a lot more than $275,000. Program, if it works and you need more funds, come back to us. I would welcome more opportunities to fund services for our highest risk individuals to make sure they stay on the right track. Of the 11 new deputies, only 2 are really the deputy for families impacted by gun violence and the deputy for fighting gun trafficking. If those 2 deputies are successful, come back to us and perhaps we can expand that. We're not going to arrest our way out of this problem. We never have, and we never will. The bottom line is that public safety is all the things: housing, healthcare, good wages, the things that make our community, in fact, our entire country is not doing enough to help. If we want to keep people safe,
None, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
27-1. Resolution passes.
Item,
Item number 40, referral 22-0198, amending 2022-2027 capital improvement program to add a project entitled STD Clinic Relocation and authorizing acceptance of reimbursement from City of Rochester of federal relocation dollars.
moved by Legislator Mills, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 41, referral 22-0198.BR, resolution authorizing the issuance of $500,000 bonds of the County of Monroe, New York, to finance the cost of the STD Clinic relocation project in and for said county at an estimated maximum cost of $500,000.
Moved by Legislator Mills, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Item number 42, referral 22-0199, approving amendments to 2022 salary schedules and authorizing retention payments to full-time employees.
Move it, Madam President.
Moved by Legislator Delahanty, seconded by Legislator Marionetti. Is there any discussion?
Madam President.
Legislator Colby?
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, Madam President, to the administration, what would the costs going to be to the, this money's coming out of the general funds, my understanding. What is the cost going to be to the general fund?
Madam President, we did not break this down by fund, and to clarify, this is actually out of the general fund, road fund, pure waters fund, solid waste fund, hospital fund, collectively.
Okay, that's not quite what I understood, but thanks for the clarification. Through you, Madam President, do you have any update on what the where we stand with the usage of the general fund dollars? How much has been used, and is what the general amount is left in that fund?
Madam President, our county controller has submitted monthly interim financial statements that show both our revenue and appropriations progression. That is a document the legislature could reference. I also submitted last week or the week before the first quarter key indicator report, which gives a estimate of Monroe County's budget projection through the end of the fiscal year. Those two documents, I believe, would answer the question the legislator is seeking.
We'll look at those and get back to you. Thank you, Madam President.
Any opposed?
Item number 43, referral number 22-0216, Young Citizens of the Year and Willie W. Lightfoot Youth Advocate of the Year recommendations. Item number 44, referral number 22-0217, confirmation of appointment and reappointment to Board of Trustees of Monroe County Library System. Okay. Item number 45, referral number 22-0218, amending Resolution 105 of 2022 to add an additional nonprofit organization.
Record over the last year.
And over the last year, we've continued to provide organizations with money in this manner. Through you to administration, or if it's the clerk office that handles this, can you walk us through the way in which these organizations are contacted to receive this money, and then the follow-up afterwards?
Department, the law department actually vets the people that were submitted, and then they notify the legislature, or they notify the clerk's office or myself in the organizations about the process and if they were approved and the contractual stuff that goes through the law department.
Madam President, after they receive the funds, what kind of support or information do these organizations receive? I've received several questions from organizations throughout this process of just lack of information and clarity.
I'm not understanding your question.
Madam President, there are organizations who have received money and don't know that they are receiving money, or have questions on how and what they can expense.
Well, per the contract, these funds are reimbursed per what they spend on whatever resources they have. They're using the money for. I would say that the administration probably keeps a tally. The finance department, that's beyond the scope of what the legislators do.
Madam President, I understand that these are small nonprofits who are receiving, large sums of money for some of them, sometimes tripling their operating budget. So I'm just understanding if we're providing them support and understanding all of what you are mentioning.
I guess I'm a little confused at your question, because they knew that they were receiving the money per the contract that they received. So to say that they don't understand why they're receiving the money, or how they should spend the money? Is that what you're asking me?
A lot of the organizations are confused about what they can be reimbursed on because of the way in which this money is being disseminated.
Okay, so now you're saying two things, because first you said that they received the money and they didn't know what to spend it on, or but now you're saying they haven't received the money and they want to know what they can spend it on.
Yes.
That information was also provided to them.
Okay. I'm definitely hearing differently. I've had multiple conversations with organizations, and I just want to make sure that we continue. I mean, if we continue this practice, which is a difficult practice to oversee, it's clear that we are providing the organizations with some support. I understand that resources are needed for the organizations. The organization that's on the list today seems like, a great organization to support, but I just want to make sure that I ask those questions because I personally am receiving a lot of feedback.
And
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's it.
I'm hoping that when you are receiving these calls, that you are directing them to whatever department they need to go to get the answers. We also receive those same questions. People want to know what specifically what they can use the money for, and we've been able to connect them with, I can't think of the name of the department off the top of my head, but we've been able to connect them, and some agencies have been able to get the money once the connection was made.
Absolutely. I agree. I think we're saying exactly the same thing. So we're doing it again, Madam President, and I just wanted to make sure that that it's understood that though these organizations are appreciative of the funds, the process itself is still in question. I will absolutely, I'm just going to explain my vote. I'm absolutely going to support this today, right? We know that a lot of our nonprofit organizations need support. The county is and should be supporting some of our organizations. And this is a creative way of doing so, but the process itself has caused a lot of hardships for some of the organizations. As you mentioned, right, we've gone back and forth from some organizations that missed deadlines, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to point that out, and no further questions.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Roll call.
Any opposed?
Do a roll call.
Call vote.
Mr. Brew? Yes. Mr. Brew votes yes. Ms. Roman? Yes. Roman votes yes. Mr. Alcoffer? Yes. Mr. Alcoffer votes yes. Ms. Barnhart? Yes. Ms. Barnhart votes yes. Mr. Baines? No. Mr. Baines votes no. Mr. Blankley? Yes. Mr. Blankley votes yes. Mr. Burgess? Yes. Mr. Burgess votes yes. Mr. Colby? Yes. Mr. Colby votes yes. Mr. Delahaney? Yes. Mr. Delahaney votes yes. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman? Delvecchio Hoffman votes yes. Mrs. DeFlorio is excused. Mr. Dondorfer? Yes. Mr. Dondorfer votes yes. Mr. Frazier? Yes. Mr. Frazier votes yes. Ms. Hasman? Yes. Ms. Hasman votes yes. Mr. Hebert? Yes. Mr. Hebert votes yes. Ms. Hughes Smith? No. Ms. Hughes Smith votes no. Mr. Johns? Yes. Mr. Johns votes yes. Mr. Keller? Yes. Mr. Keller votes yes. Mr. Long? Yes. Mr. Long votes yes. Mr. Mafucci? Yes. Mr. Mafucci votes yes. Mr. Marinetti? Yes. Mr. Marinetti votes yes. Mr. McCabe? Yes. Mr. McCabe votes yes. Mr. Milne? Yes. Mr. Milne votes yes. Ms. Smith? Yes. Ms. Smith votes yes. Ms. Taylor? Yes. Ms. Taylor votes yes. Ms. Vasquez Simmons? No. Ms. Vasquez Simmons votes no. Ms. Vecchio? Ms. Vecchio votes yes. Mr. Udelson? Yes. Mr. Udelson votes yes. President Lamar?
Yes.
President Lamar votes yes. 25-3, resolution passes.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. This honorable body stands adjourned until Tuesday, July 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m.